Clint Prentice.
Evan Tognati.
I'm here playing Shovel Knight. And I know what you're thinking.
This is on the NES, right?
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing. No, people might think that, but actually this is a new game. It came out this week for the Wii U, the 3DS, and the PC. We're playing on the PC.
That's a weird slew of games, or consoles, to put it out on.
Yeah, it is. You'd think maybe Nintendo did some sort of, like, console exclusive deal with them.
Yeah, I know it was kickstarted, so...
Yeah, it was kickstarted.
It could just be like, hey, we're mining nostalgia from the NES and SNES era, so let's put it on those.
I am... Hold on, let's just... There we go.
A little loud for you?
A little loud for me. It's just... Recording these videos, since we don't have, like, a video producer, it's always the person playing, doing it. I'm always paranoid about audio levels.
Yeah.
So I like to keep it low, because I'd rather err on the side of caution. So I've beaten Shovel Knight.
And it seems like you don't have a lot of items.
That's true, but I am going to start New Game Plus.
Okay.
Because that seems like a good idea. I haven't done this yet, and might be a good way to show off the game, since it'll be the beginning. So this is one of these, like, NES throwback games. It's people making a game that's supposed to sort of look and feel and play like something on the NES.
Mm-hmm.
And this game has a lot of pretty specific inspirations, which will be apparent as we play, but this is the story. It's about Shovel Knight and Shield Knight.
There's really good art in this opening cutscene thing.
Really good music, too. But then Shield Knight is gone.
But he's kissing her helmet, so it's fine.
So it's fine.
Apparently, and I found this to be pretty cool, they're going to release an update later that has a gender swap mode.
No kidding.
That changes the gender of every single character.
That's cool. I like that. But anyways, Shovel Knight's spirit was broken.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm just going to live this life. But then the Order of No Quarter and the Enchantress showed up.
That's a good name.
The Order of No Quarter, yeah, it's pretty good. And those are your 8 like Mega Man boss guys. They're all knights. There's King Knight. King Knight's one of them. Black Knight.
Yep. And Treasure Knight.
Treasure Knight. Tinker Knight. Okay.
Plague Knight.
Plague Knight. So you can see my armor's... Normally your armor would be blue here, but I have like an armor thing. So this might actually be cool to show off some of the upgrades. There aren't very many in this game, but I have some shovel upgrades, so this, you can see, while my health is full, I get like a beam thing. Sort of like Zelda. I have a charge. See there. Also, okay. A lot of different things going on in this game. Let's start at the top. First of all, you can do this. Whoop. So it's sort of like DuckTales.
DuckTales, woohoo.
You know DuckTales, Clint.
Yep.
Who doesn't?
I don't know. A lot of people, maybe?
Maybe. Main difference between this and the pogo stick and DuckTales is that you can't bounce on anything. In DuckTales, it was like, oh, just hold it down, you can bounce wherever. Here it's only on, like, enemies or bounceable objects.
Yeah, it's usually, if the thing can be destroyed, that's whenever you can bounce on it.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, normally here you have, like, 4 bars of health, but my health is all upgraded. So yeah, that's the other thing about my armor. If I bounce twice successfully, it automatically charges up one of those charge shots for me, which is pretty neat. So you can do stuff later on with some bosses where it's like you bounce on the bosses, and then if you time it right, you can get off, hit them with a charge shot, and keep going. So the levels in this game, where you'll be spending the bulk of your time, are basically Mega Man. This is a very, like, Mega Man screen right here, and Mega Man also does the thing where it's like, the way the screens sort of slide instead of often being just like Mario side-scrollers. It's like you freeze and it brings up a new thing, which I would assume is because of the processing power of the NES was so limited. But that's what this game does, and that's sort of its main inspiration here. But then there's a bunch of other stuff. Like, there are towns.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like Zelda 2. Or, Castlevania 2. There are sub-weapons, so these are the relics. These are the sub-weapons.
Yep. And
some of these are, like, attacks, so the one I have equipped right now is like... bomb. Is like, press up and X and it's a fireball.
There's one that turns you in... That one turns you invisible.
Yeah. It's so you can't get hit. And then some of them, like this fishing rod, is there might be some use to this, but
yeah. So
there's also it's a like side quest thing primarily.
There are pits in the game, and if they're sparkling, then you can use that rod and get like treasure or item or something. And
then there's also like a special. There's a world map in this game, and the world map has some like optional areas you can go to, and one of them's like a fishing hole where you can use the fishing rod in addition.
Are you talking about the thing with the giant fish?
Yeah, the giant fish.
So I want you to do a thing whenever you get to town,
sure.
So that you find out more about that giant fish.
I can do that for you. So let's see. So yeah, some secrets, you know, kinda. You hit certain blocks that look funny, and they... this is a music sheet I've already gotten, but you bring those to, like, the bard in town, and he gives you gold, and it's also like a jukebox where you can just listen to all the music in the game. Alright. And these, like... A lot of these piles of things here, like dirt that I'm digging up, would normally take 3s, but since I'm all upgraded, it only takes me 1. So, keep that in mind. Your mileage may vary with that.
Yeah, and it also depends on how good you are at both collecting gold and keeping it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you die, a certain percentage of your gold disappears, and like Dark Souls, you have to corpse run your way back.
Yeah.
To where you died, or else that gold is gone forever.
I was confused because in like the press release information for this game, they were like, it borrows things from Dark Souls, and I was like, what? And then that's basically all it borrows from Dark Souls, and it's not even as... It's certainly not as punitive as Dark Souls.
No.
I'd say that my one sort of minor-ish complaint with this game is that I think it's ultimately pretty easy. I don't think it ever gets quite as challenging as I'd like. There's some stuff later on that's a little rough, but I beat it in 4 hours, and it's, you know, like 8 levels and some other business in there too, side quest stuff.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that that it's been super easy for me. It's definitely been challenging in a way that kind of definitely harkens back to old NES games, but certainly not as hard as those.
I think it's just that thing where it's like, have you like played or beaten a Mega Man game?
No.
Okay. I think that's part of it, is that like I've beaten a bunch of those, and that's sort of what these are. These are like less difficult Mega Man levels. So by a modern standard, it is still a pretty challenging game. It's just like the thing they're specifically taking inspiration from is a lot more difficult than this, which is why it's sort of this tricky balancing act where it's like, this is supposed to be sort of...
So put your once you kill this dragon guy, use your rod on that far ledge there.
Okay. Let's do that. Another thing with this, you mentioned how I didn't have very many of those items, is that I sort of found them worthless, ultimately. I mean, there's stuff like this. Oh, I have to, right, I forgot the minigame here.
Hit X whenever...
Now some gold.
Yep.
But like all of the attack relics and stuff, I always found that my shovel was better.
Mm-hmm. See, the one thing that I don't like about this game, and I know the reason why it's there, it's definitely a thing of the era, but He disappears for too long when he gets hit.
Yeah, it's actually... I'm not sure if it's a frame rate thing, but he does blink.
When I'm playing it, like, he disappears for quite a long time.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's weird, because I was watching video of this earlier, and the same thing was happening, and I figured it was just because the game runs at 60, and it's capturing at 30. So when you get hit, it just looks like he's disappeared. But yeah, on my copy, he, like, blinks. Which is... that's weird. But...
yeah.
So, if you're gonna buy Shovel Knight, take a roll of the dice.
Yeah, you missed a secret. Okay.
So this is the Black Knight.
He also has a shovel.
He also has a shovel. He's sort of a persistent enemy throughout the game.
Yep. That castle in the background kind of looks like Castlevania.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Castlevania. A lot of the he also laughs like Kefka, which is amazing.
Yep. Yep.
So a lot of the bosses in this game I found can be, if you have like enough health items, I might just fuck this up and not prove my point. You can just sort of jam on them with your shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I fucked up there because I only had 3 health, but the point stands, I swear. Which isn't, I don't think it's so much of a problem. There's definitely bosses, a couple that really require like some patience and some tricky maneuvering. But the DuckTales pogo stick thing, man, it's OP. It's always been OP. Oh, that's right, I can also do this.
Oh. How do you do that charge attack? Do you just hold down the button?
Yeah, so the main way you do it is you hold down the button and you let go of it to do the charge attack, but I don't really do that anymore since I got the upgrade where you can just bounce twice and it charges, because part of it is, like, while you're holding it down, the charge, you move really slowly too, but if you charge it up through the bounce, you move normally.
I love this screen.
Yeah, it is a great screen. This, the, like, dream sequence stuff in this game, I think, is interesting. Because it this is sort of a repeated thing that happens, and it feels more like something you'd find in, like, some weird empathy game than, like, a platformer. Kind of enjoy it. I sort of... And then you can, like, shake the stick back and forth and then jump up! Always be sure to dig up your...
Because only you can prevent forest fires.
That's also, you need all those gems. So then there's also a map in this game.
Mario 3!
Mario 3 map. Let's go to a village.
So, go down to where the item guy is.
Okay. So yeah, here's the bard man. He's lost all his music sheets. It's like Benjamin Franklin. Okay. So yeah, and then here you can just, like, set the music in the town. So you could be like, I want to listen to number 34, The Schemer. So we can listen to that now.
He's really talented.
He is. It's impressive he could do that on a loop.
Yeah. Talk to the guy that's on top of the barrels. And buy his, chalices. Or one or two, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Vessel for storing mythical ichor. Alright. Thank you, buddy. So this is the relic seller.
Named Chester, he pops out of chests sometimes.
Yeah, he pops out chests, like, in level sometimes. I bought all of the relics he sells here, so... not gonna do that.
Then if he picks one up and you don't have the money to buy it, like, if he pops out of a chest in the middle of a level and you don't have the money to buy it, he'll just bring it back to town.
Oh, okay. Sure. I don't have enough for that. What am I doing? Alright. There's also later in the game, there's like a catapult that gets set up here for fast travel, so you can just jump between, because there's another town. So instead, ducking out to the world map.
Yeah, someone just mentioned offhand something about the catapult while I was playing, and I was like, I want to do that. So go up and to the right where that tree is.
Yeah, the pond here.
And just
talk
to the fish.
Hello, fish. Sure, aid me. I see. Okay. Sure, let's do this.
Now here's the best thing.
Okay. This is pretty good so far. You just get to watch this every time?
No, just this once. You can ask him to dance afterwards and he'll just do it again.
So yeah, this game isn't perfectly faithful to the NES. Let's say.
No.
It's a lot more complex. There are more pixels on screen, I'm pretty sure, than could have been on an NES.
Yeah, absolutely.
Soundtrack too, all of that stuff. But it does use the NES color palette. That is something I read. So there are no colors in this game that couldn't have been on the NES, but...
And then he just spits into your goblet.
Alright, buddy. See ya.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty... There will be, like Mario 3, occasionally there will be, like, knights and sort of random encounter things wandering along the path that you have to deal with, like the Hammer Brothers and stuff in Mario 3. And then that gem down there, that's like a auto-scrolling money collection level.
Sometimes gems will actually become like one of those enemies that populate the world. Sometimes a gem will just pop up there.
Yeah, that is true.
And then you start like a thing.
It's shoveling time.
Left.
This is King Knight.
No, go to the left. I'm telling you, man, secrets.
Secrets. Alright.
I screwed that up.
No, I fucked that up. Alright. But there is a secret over there. People on their own can find out what's actually in there. Gotta leave some mystery for them.
Yeah, so like, at least what I assume a Mega Man game is, each stage is completely different.
Yes.
That matches the villain that you're fighting. This is what's this guy? Knight?
This is King Knight.
King Knight.
This game with knights is sort of like Adventure Time with princesses.
Yeah.
Everyone's a knight.
But these levels get pretty inventive. Like, oh, you just use your chalice.
Good.
Don't worry, you fill it up for free.
Oh, okay. Also, I don't think I'll be needing it, but
yeah. So is it harder in New Game Plus, or is it just the same?
They said it would be harder. Thus far, I mean, I'm not paying the closest attention. I'm just sort of on autopilot, but I don't think there's been much that's harder. But yeah, when we started it, they were like, this'll be a more... Okay. That, I believe, used to be a turkey, now it's a bomb. So, I guess that's different. Maybe
I do know when you were killing those mini bosses, bombs popped out of them.
Yeah,
so.
When turkeys used to. So I guess that is different.
Yeah.
I wonder how far that goes. If it's just the one, or if it'll scale again. Probably not. There we go. Give me that. Yeah, the soundtrack in this game also. Excellent.
Yep. I really like this game.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's a hard thing because ultimately I think what this game is is, like, on its own, is just, like, a really solid game and a lot of fun to play and very well designed. But, and this is sort of a problem I have with a lot of these sorts of throwbacks, like, if their intent was to be sort of faithful to what they're, you know, taking as inspiration, then it's not quite there. They've made a lot of pretty smart decisions for, like, modern audiences, but it's just a little too forgiving, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
In those respects, but that's a very, like, specific complaint that I think somebody just picking this up today with, like, not much affinity for, like, old Mega Man stuff or anything like that would just have a great time with it. And I guess you are sort of that person, and you seem to be having a great time with it, so...
Yeah. Bounce on that guy.
I could. You want me to bounce? There, I bounced.
Yeah.
Is just all of those... Are all of those bombs...
Maybe you just don't get health upgrades anymore.
Maybe.
Or health pickups, I mean. I really like the scrolling backgrounds.
Yeah, the parallax is really good. That's another thing that is not found in NES titles that they did here. That's just, it looks so good. Hey, you want to do anything, buddy? No? Alright.
Hold up a shield.
So you can see there how the bounce twice charge attack is pretty great.
Yeah.
This is a very Mega Man sort of thing right here. Platforms on a timed dealy. And if you keep bouncing, it keeps resetting. It'll only start the timer after you go. So let me see if I can just...
I died a lot here because of that weird flicker thing that happens.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why that would be a thing for you and not for me, but... Like,
he disappears for... Instead of blinking, like, sometimes he'll blink, but most of the time he just disappears until, you know, the invincibility frames are over.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine that would be rough if it's just the same amount of time as the, as however long he blinks, but...
Makes boss battles real fucking hard.
I'd imagine. Just know that is unintended artificial difficulty.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'll put it on a different screen. It might just be like a TV thing.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe your
I don't see why it would.
Because it could be... Because it's just him blinking in and out every other frame. So, like, if this game is running at 60 frames a second and it's pushing out somewhere, like on this video, I bet it'll look like he's just disappearing. Because there's a 30 frames per second video. This is King Knight.
Oh, we should invest in YouTube 1080-60 videos.
I can't record 1080-60. I can record... This is 1080-30. That's about the best I can do, though. Let me see if I can beat this guy.
Shoots out confetti.
He does. It's one of his major attacks. Probably not going to get him this try, but...
No.
This confetti got me. So yeah, this is the sort of slight corpse run mechanic is I have to recover that stuff now. Which will actually be pretty hard since it's up there. And if I don't, then it gets replaced with more bags that I need to recover, and I've just lost money.
So the other thing, those checkpoints that you saw whenever you die, you can actually destroy those and not have, like, you'll get money for destroying the checkpoint, and then you just won't be able to respawn at that checkpoint.
Right.
So you can essentially just have a run where you destroy all checkpoints, and if you die, you go back to the very beginning of the level.
That sounds... The way Mega Man would handle it is you'd have, like, 3 lives, and there would be checkpoints, but once you burn up those 3 lives, you're back at the beginning. Which is... It's sort of weird to think. That might be a fun way to play, if people are looking for an added challenge. Here I am waking up again. I think that's a pretty good look at Shovel Knight. Thanks for joining me, Clint.
Thank you for showing an awesome game.
Yeah, I really this was really what I needed. I've been sort of fatigued. Games recently haven't been doing much for me because it's not been a great year.
No.
And apparently diving into the past, or at least somebody's memory of the past, is where the real winners are found.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. This has been a crash test. There are other ones that you can watch. Please do that. Goodbye.
Yep. Goodbye.